Chapter 10 Manifestation of the Sun God, Aditya, and the Vedas. This chapter contains 6 sections. Markandeya says after Brahma came out from that egg, Rigved manifested from his first mouth. From the mouth facing south, manifested the Yajurveda. After that, Samved manifested from his mouth facing west. In the end, Atharveda came out from the mouth facing north. The Rigved symbolizes the Rajoguna while the Yajurveda symbolizes the Sattva Guna. Samved comprises of Tamoguna whereas Atharveda is the mixture of Sattva and Tamoguna. The manifestation of the Vedas had illuminated the whole atmosphere. But the manifestation of Omkar overlapped their radiance and covered all the Vedas. At last, the radiance of the Vedas got united with that of the Omkar. The Rigved symbolizes the form of Brahma during the period of creation while Yajurveda symbolizes Lord Vishnu during the whole period of nurturing. Samved is symbolical of Rudra at the time of annihilation. Chapter 10 Section 1 Lord Brahma eulogizes Surya. Markandeya says in the beginning of the creation, Surya shed unbearable amount of heat. This made the process of creation very difficult. Lord Brahma became worried. He thought due to the extreme heat of the sun, all the water on this earth is getting evaporated. If this continues to happen, then how would the creatures survive? Lord Brahma eulogized Surya to please him. He said, I make salutations to Surya who is the object of contemplation of great sages, who is the source of all energy. O Surya, it is only because of you that I can create, nurture and annihilate. You are the protector of this universe created from the Panchatattvas. Please subdue your radiance so that I can commence my creation. Visvakarma became very pleased by Brahma's eulogy and subdued his radiance. Thus, it became possible for Lord Brahma to begin his creation. He created the deities, demons, human beings, animals, vegetation etc. in the same way as he had done in earlier kalpas. Chapter 10 Section 2 Progeny of Kashyap, Prajapati and Aditi's eulogy of Visvakarma. Markandeya says Lord Brahma, after having created the universe, divided the earth into various islands. He also created the oceans and the mountains. Marichi, the son of Brahma, was the father of Kashyap. Kashyap was married to the 10 daughters of Daksha. He had numerous sons from them like the deities, the demons and many creatures like reptiles. Aditi was the mother of the deities, Diti of the demons, Danu of the Danavas, monsters. Vinta gave birth to Garud and Arun. Ravasa was the mother of Yakshas and the Rakshasas, Kadru of the Nagas. Muni was the mother of Gandharvas. Krodh was the mother of Kulyava Ganas, Rishta of Apsaras. Ira was the mother of the elephants and Tamara was the mother of Shayanai. Ila gave birth to all the vegetation while Prada gave birth to the insects. The earth was inhabited with the progenies of Aditi's sons. Lord Brahma had made the deities masters of all the 3 worlds. This decision of Brahma had made the Daityas, Danavas and Rakshasas very angry. They got united and started causing obstacles in the path of the deities. A great battle was fought between the deities and the demons in which the deities were defeated. Aditi, the mother of the deities, became very sad. She did a rigorous penance to please the sun god. She observed fasts and eulogized the sun god for most of her time. At last, the sun god appeared before her, but she could not bear his radiance, which was so powerful that she could not even open her eyes. She requested him to subdue his power so that she could see him. Chapter 10 Section 3 Aditi gives birth to Aditya. Markandeya says after being pleased by the eulogy of Aditi, the sun shed its radiance and became somber. Now, Aditi could see him. She said, O Lord, be pleased upon me. The Adaityas and the Danavas have captured all the three worlds from my sons. I request you to take birth as my son and defeat the demons. The sun god agreed to take birth as her son. In course of time, Aditi became pregnant. She engaged herself in religious activities so that she could become a mother of a virtuous child. Seeing his pregnant wife observing fasts, Kashyap became very angry. He said it is not proper for a pregnant woman to observe fast as it may prove to be harmful to the fetus. Why are you trying to destroy it? Aditi replied, I am not trying to destroy my fetus. After taking birth, our child will destroy our enemies. In her anger, Aditi released her fetus. Kashyap started chanting the mantras of Rigved. In a very short time, her child came out from that fetus. A heavenly voice was heard which said, O sage, since you have called this fetus Marit, therefore your son would be famously known as Martand. After the birth of Martand, the morale of the deities was boosted up. Indra challenged the demons. A tremendous battle ensued between both the sides. Martand glanced towards the demons, as a result of which they were charged to death. The deities were pleased and eulogized Martand. At last, the deities regained their territories they had lost to the demons. Chapter 10 Section 4 Visvakarma eulogizes Aditya. Markandeya says Visvakarma had married his daughter Sangya to the sun god. But being unable to face the unbearable radiance of the sun, she went to do penance after instructing her shadow to perform the duties of an ideal wife on her behalf. Ultimately, she returned back to her husband only after Visvakarma had subdued the radiance of the sun god. Visvakarma then eulogized the sun god by saying, I make salutations to the sun god whose existence is beneficial for the whole universe. I make salutations to one whose own origin remains a mystery and who enables our eyes to see. I make salutations to the sun god who destroys the darkness and who lightens up the whole world. Chapter 10 Section 5 Rajavardhan's subjects eulogize Aditya for their king's long life. Kraushtuki says, O Lord, enlighten us on the greatness of Bhaskar. Markandeya replied, there was a king named Rajavardhan. His subjects were very happy and satisfied under his rule. They were free from all the diseases. Rajavardhan ruled for 7,000 long years. His wife was Manini. One day, while Manini was applying oil on his head, she saw a grey hair. She became very sad and started crying. A drop of tear fell on the king. He asked the queen as to why she was crying. The queen told him about the reason. The king laughingly said, I am fully satisfied by my rule of 7,000 years. The grey hair on my head is an indication that I must now abandon my worldly life and become a recluse. This would be more appropriate for me. When his subjects came to know about his decision, they became sad. But nothing could make the king change his mind. He decided to become a recluse after appointing his son as his successor. The king called the astrologers for consultation. The astrologers advised the king to change his mind. But Rajavardhan did not listen to them. At last, his subjects decided to eulogize the sun god and demand a long life for their king. All of them started worshipping the sun god. A Gandharv whose name was Sudama appeared before them and instructed them to go to a forest named Guhavishala and continue their penance. All of them went to the forest as per the instruction of the Gandharv. There was a beautiful temple of Lord Bhaskar in the forest. They worshipped Surya and eulogized him. Their worship continued for 3 months, after which the sun god became pleased and appeared before them. Lord Bhaskar asked them to demand any boon. He said, "O Brahmin, demand anything you wish." All of them said, "O Lord, if you are really pleased with us, then bless our king Rajavardhan with a long life. Please bless him with an eternal youth and a life free from all the deities. We want our king to live for 10,000 years. The sun god blessed them by saying, "So be it." After receiving the boons, all of them came to the king's palace and narrated the whole story. The queen was very pleased, but the king was worried. The queen was surprised at the king's sadness even after getting such good news. The king replied, "What is the use of remaining alive for 10,000 years? You won't be alive then. Will I be able to enjoy my life in your absence? Will not the deaths of my sons, my grandsons and my near and dear ones make me sad? The boon of myself enjoying life for 10,000 years will actually prove to be a curse." The queen sadly said, "Whatever you have said is true. I could not understand this fact because of my ignorance. Now, you must do your duty, as the boon of the sun god is not going to go in vain." The king decided to go to the mountain Prabhriti and do penance. He wanted to receive a boon from sun god, which enabled all his subjects and his relatives to remain alive as long as he lived. The queen also decided to move along with the king. Both of them did an austere penance. The sun god appeared before them and blessed them. Thus, Rajavardhan lived for 10,000 years along with his subjects. Chapter 10, Section 6, Markandeya and his descendants. Markandeya says Markandeya had a son named Manu. The 7th Manvantar in which we are living is named after him. Manu had many sons, among whom Narishyant, Nabhag, Prisharna and Drishtu were the rulers of different kingdoms. Manu had performed a special yajna named Mitravarun with the desire of having more sons. But after the yajna, a daughter was born to him and who was named Ila. Manu then requested Mitravarun to transform that girl into a boy, if he was really pleased with him. Both the deities blessed Manu and instantly that girl was transformed into a boy. He was named Sudryumna. One day, Sudryumna had gone to the forest for hunting. Incidentally, because of the wrath of goddess Parvati, he again got transformed into a lady. At that time, he was married to Buddha and a son named Pururva was born to them. Later on, he regained his body of the male. This time, he became the father of Utkal, Vinay, and Gaya. All these 3 sons were very just rulers. Pururva was made the king of Pratishtanpur.